Hey, hi there, and welcome to the Unwind Method class for today. Today's class is going to be focused mainly on, well, completely on using the ball work, and it is going to be mainly focused also from the feet up to the hips. Um, and just to remember that you need to please be compassionate with yourself, be aware of your body, know and listen to what your body needs in the moment. Take a break whenever you need to, and also depending on which balls you have, I'm going to be demonstrating with various ones. If you're using the really small one and that's too intense for you, swap over to the more spiky ball. And yeah, just enjoy the class and enjoy the experience and just feel into the fascia. So we're going to start with standing up first. So you can come up, just standing straight up, tall. We're just going to basically just tune into our bodies to begin. And having your feet hip width distance apart and really feeling into the feet. Just see how your body feels today. Notice if your feet feel really planted and grounded or whether they feel a little bit tight. Just notice. And we're just going to tap into the breath for a moment just to bring the nervous system down. We're going to take a nice slow deep breath in. And on your out breath, feel yourself grounding and rooting into the ground through the soles of the feet. And once again, breathing in. And then breathing out, rooting down, feeling stable. And now bring your attention to your knees. Notice how they're feeling today. Does one feel different to the other? Do they both feel the same? Do they feel tight? Do they feel loose? Are there any little niggles and aches? And this is all just about connecting to the body and where we're at in the moment. Moving your focus up now to the hips. And notice whether one hip feels different to the other. Maybe one feels a little bit higher than the other. Just notice that again. Taking one more nice, slow, deep breath in. And relaxing into the exhale through the feet. Okay, so now we are going to do some foot awareness. And what I want you to do, I'm just going to come forward onto my mat slightly. What I want you to do is just raise the toes, just the toes up. Raise the toes and see if you can do that without tensing through the knees. So knees are soft and just lift through the toes. Feel how that feels through the soles of your feet. And then bring them back down. And once again, notice there whether you rock forward or not. We want to try and stay very static and not move the top part of the body. All we want is the toes to raise and the toes to come down. And again, toes up and toes down. Now, lift only your big toes first. Now, this can be a bit tricky for the brain because if you're looking at your feet, you're instructing the toes to lift. And then try and lift one toe at a time till they're all up. And then start by bringing your pinky toe down, your next toe, third toe, fourth toe, and big toe. And we go again, lift the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, pinky. And then reverse, pinky down, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and big toe. Okay, now we're going to be raising and dropping. So here again, keeping the body from going forwards or backwards, we want to stay in a straight line and we're going to raise off the heels first and then slowly come up. And just notice your balance here. Do you feel wobbly? And then come back down. And again, straight up. And slowly back down. And one more time. Straight up. And slowly back down. Great, so let's just shake out the feet. And here we've just been activating into the fascia in the sole of the foot. A lot of people struggle with not myofascia, sorry, with plantar fasciitis, and that's that big band of fascia that runs under the feet. So we are going to get into that now. So grabbing your whichever balls you have, I recommend the Easy Grip ball. I'm going to place it on the floor in front of us. And then I want you to place your toes, just the toes, onto the ball and kind of hug around the ball with your toes. So squeezing into the ball. And your straight leg at the back, just make sure it's not totally locked. Just make it a little bit soft. So no tension there. So squeezing into the ball with the toes and release. Again, squeeze into the ball and release. Now we're going to bring it a little bit forward onto the ball of the foot and just put a little bit of pressure and release. And again, a little bit of pressure and release. Now start to put pressure, and as you're putting pressure, start to roll the foot slowly over the ball till it gets to your heel and then flex your foot. And then bringing it back, breathing in. Okay, so we're going to do that a couple of times now, a little bit faster. So breathing in, sending it forward, flexing the foot through the heel. And bring it back. Breathing in, going forward. And out. Going back. One more time, breathing in, going forward. And out, going back. So that was with quite a bit of pressure. Now we're going to release the pressure and we're going to simply roll the ball under the foot. And just put as much pressure as feels good to you. Now we're really getting into all the pressure points under the feet, into the fascia, just starting to hydrate that fascia so that it all starts to open up and starts to hydrate. Now you can turn your foot outwards slightly, so we are going on the outside of the foot, all the way from the pinky toe to the heel. Just a couple more times, and then turning it the other way and coming onto the inside of the foot. So turning your foot outwards and going from the big toe all the way down to the heel. And then coming off and just stand and notice now. Take a breath in and release. Notice the sensations under that foot. Notice the leg. Perhaps the leg feels a little bit more awake than the one we haven't worked just yet. So that's us just creating that whole flow. Remember, the fascia has lines. So we're not only working in the foot, we are working through the fascial lines in the body. So now putting the ball in front of the other foot, the opposite foot which you just worked. And again, let's wrap the toes around, squeeze the toes over, and release. Squeeze the toes over, release. Two more times, squeeze and release. Last one, squeeze and release. Moving forward slightly onto the ball of the foot, just putting a little bit of pressure, breathing in and out, you release. And again, in, putting pressure and out, release. Now we're going to do the slow roll of the foot. So putting pressure, we're going to start to roll the ball all the way down the length of the foot, keeping the opposite knee slightly bent all the way and flex the toes so that you come to the heel. And then bringing it back the other way. And breathing in all the way forward. And out and all the way back. Two more times. Then make your Each movement deliberate, focusing on the breath as well. Last one, all the way forward and back. And now we begin to do a little bit of more friction with whatever pressure feels good for you. And on the base of the foot, all the way from the toes to the heel, quite vigorously, quite strongly. And then begin to turn your foot outwards. So now we're working on the outer side of the foot from the heel to the back of the toe. And if you're struggling with your balance, just bend that other leg. Just a couple more times. And then turning it around. And now we're going from on the medial side or the inside of the foot. And this is, we are working actually along the spine when we work with this. And stop. So now let's just stand and check in again. Notice how it feels now. Maybe you feel a little bit more grounded, maybe you feel a little bit more connected, and maybe the legs feel a little bit more awake. We're going to go back to the right foot now. I want you to stand and place the ball directly in the center of the other foot. And place your foot on that ball. We're going to push, like we did just now, so push forward to the heel. And now we're going to draw it back all the way. You get to the toes. And now you turn the foot the other way. Bend the other knee. And go along the top of the foot. And then bring that back slowly. All the way to the tippy toes. As you reach the tippy toes, turn your toes. And come back. So we're going to do that again. Drawing back. So that's all the way on the tippy toes. Lift into the very tips of your toes, turning the foot and going over the top of the foot, bending the other leg. Breathing in, coming up. Breathing out, going forward. In, coming up. Out, going back. Bending that knee. In. And out. And we're going to do the same on the other side now. If you're struggling with the balance because it is a little bit wobbly, it isn't, just engage your core. Be very aware of your core, standing nice and straight and tall, and keeping the hips stable. Okay, we're going to go on the other side. Face you, facing the ball on the center of that foot. You're going to face that way, sorry. And we begin again. Bend through the right knee. Put pressure on the inner sole, and then begin to push forward as you breathe in. And breathing out, bringing it all the way back, allowing the toes to roll over the top of the foot, engage the core, and then breathe out, bending the right knee. And then breathing in to come up. Tippy toes over, breathing out, bringing the heel forward. 2 more like that, breathing in. And bring pressure on that ball as it rolls. Breathing out. Straighten that knee, breathing in. And breathing out. And release. Great. So now we are going to come down from standing. And we are going to take our block and come onto all fours. All right. Placing the block so that the front of your ankle, of your foot, is going to be central to the block. And we're going to take the smaller ball, or you can use whatever ball you have, placing that in the middle, and placing our foot directly onto the ball and anchoring into your knee. Placing your hands flat on the ground so you're stable. And we're going to do some compression here. So we're going to breathe in. And then on your out breath, compress and push the foot into the ball. And again, breathing in to release. Out to compress into the ball. 2 more in. Release. And out to compress. 1 more time in. And compress into the ball. Remember, slow, mindful movements. Feel every movement. And release the pressure. Now we are going to start to shear. So we're going to be going across with the ankle. So the ball is going all the way from the inner ankle to the outer ankle, across the top of the foot. And you're going to feel crunchy there. You're going to feel some tendony kind of feeling. So we're just working into that very, very tight connective tissue at the front of the ankle. And use as much pressure as you feel is right for you over here. Remember, sometimes less is more. So just feel what's right. 1 more moment. Okay, and then you can lift your foot off and move the ball. And we're going to swap over to I'm just going to turn. You don't need to turn. So we're going to place the ball in the center again. Find that middle. Placing the knee, grounding the knee. Grounding the hands underneath the shoulders. And once you've found that position, you're going to breathe in. And on your out breath, compress into the ball, pushing down. And the breath is very important, breathing in. Compress into the ball on your out breath. I'll do 2 more like this, breathing in. And all the way out. 1 more time, deep in. And pushing down. Breathing in to release the pressure. And now we slowly begin to shear. So moving the foot from side to side, allowing the ball to roll over from ankle to ankle. From inner ankle to outer ankle. And feeling all that movement. Notice what's going on in that area for you. Just softening all the tension that's there. A couple more times. Okay, lifting your foot off, moving the ball, moving the block. As we come sitting, facing forward. And let's just rotate the ankles a little. Just get some movement, pointing and flexing. And then we are going to grab 2 of whichever balls. So we need 2 balls for this. You're going to sit with your right foot in front. And your left leg bent. You're going to take your 2 balls, bringing them into just behind the ankle, into the Achilles tendon. Okay, and we're going to just apply pressure. So breathing in, apply pressure, squeezing into the Achilles tendon. And again, breathing in and push. And then we come up slightly more and we're going to do pin and spin. So now we're going to push in, and once we pushed in, we're going to spin, pin and spin all the way around. And release, come up a little bit more, pin and spin. And up, a little bit more, pin and spin. And just underneath the knee, pin and spin. Going down, going backwards now, we go down 1, pin and spin. Again, pin, spin, till you get to your ankle. pin, and spin. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to be pinning and spinning one way with the one hand and one way with the other hand. So coming up, we're going to pin, and now you're going to be doing opposites. So pushing forward with one and pulling back with one. And then the other way. And then up a little bit more, push in, twist, and twist. And up again, push in, twist, and twist. Beautiful. So now we're going to just take the balls and just give yourselves a little run all along the area we've just worked. Whatever pressure you'd like. Just along the sides, the inner and the outer side of your legs. As we swap over to the other side. Starting again, bringing the balls into behind the ankle, just into the Achilles tendon. Breathing in, push in the balls. And release. Breathe in, push, and release. Coming up slightly, push in, pin and spin. Up, in, pin and spin. Up, in, pin and spin. Last one, up, in, pin and spin. And we go reverse, down, one, pin and spin. Next. And the next one down at the bottom. Now we're going to be going back up the leg with the opposite spin. So holding in the pin, one hand the one way, one hand the other way. Coming up, one hand the one way. Sorry, we should have done this the opposite way. And up again, spin, and the other way, up, in, spin, spin, then back down. Awesome, okay. Now we are going to work a little bit into the calves. So grabbing your block, placing it underneath where your calf area is. And we're going to place ball just at the base, just above the ankle, leaning back. And we are going to do compressions again. So breathing in first and then out, pushing down into the block. Breathing in, release. And out. Two more in. And out. And in. And out. Coming forward, you can either move the block or you can just slide forward slightly. So now we're like right in the middle of the calf. And we're going to do those compressions again, breathing in. And push down on your out breath. This can feel quite intense. Breathing in. And out to compress. Two more. In. Compressing in. And last one. In, releasing. And out. Compressing. Now we move slightly higher. So we're not going to be in the crease of the knee. We don't want to go in there. We're going to go just at the very top of the calf. So find that spot. Find your posture again. Breathing in and out to push down. In. Out to push down. Two more. In. And out. Last one. In. And out. You're going to swap over and do it on the other leg now. So placing the ball at the base. Once you've got there, you've got your posture, nice straight back, you can. Breathing in and out to compress. And in. And compress. In. Compress. Last one, in. And compress. Releasing the pressure. Bringing the ball to the middle of the calf. And we go again, breathing in. Pressure down. In. Pressure down. So it's not intense pressure when you're going into deep pain. We are just massaging through the fascia and out. Last one, in and out. And we come to the last position, not under the knee, just at the top of the calf. Letting it rest there for a moment and then breathe in and out to put pressure. And in and out. Two more in and out. And last one. And release. If you have the spiky balls, or if you want to change over balls now, we're going to place where we started on the first side. We're going to place the ball at the base. Now we're going to be using our body to rock, and we're going to be doing some movements backwards and forwards. So placing the ball there, you're going to breathe in to roll all the way across to just under the knee and out and in and out. Forward, back. Last one, forward and back. Coming back seated. Let's just circle the wrists a little bit because it can be quite heavy on the arms, this one. And we swap over now to the other side, placing the ball at the base, placing your hands behind you, anchoring in with your right foot. So we're going to be pressing into the right foot, lifting the pelvis and rolling forward and back to, remember your breath, breathing in and out. Two more in. Last one. Feel like full length of that calf, that fascia starting to melt away, bringing the pelvis down, sitting back up. Let's just shake up the wrists a little bit. Okay. Coming back into a tabletop, we're going to send the right leg forward to a 90-degree angle. Back leg is also at a 90-degree angle for now. I want you to take your ball, place it in behind your knee. Okay, so now we're going to be working at the base of the hamstring and into the top of the calf. So once you've found it there, you need to kind of hold it just to put it into place and then lean forward into a lunge. And we're going to hold this one here for about 30 seconds. So just finding your breath here. You might need to just reposition it as you need. slow deep breaths. Feel your way, feeling the sensation. You can also feel that deep stretch through the left leg, the front. Okay, now breathing in and breathing out. I want you to tense your calf muscle or tense your leg. So you're squeezing into the ball. Keep the compression and release. Okay, breathing in. Again, squeeze that ball with the leg. Breathing in. Breathe out, squeezing the ball. One more time, breathe in to release. And breathe out. Releasing that posture, coming back, bringing the right foot back. As we swap over and do the same thing on the left. So finding your 90-degree angle first, placing your ball behind the leg. And then once you've got it securely there, leaning forward into the lunge. And just a nice couple of slow deep breaths here. There's no rush. Feel into your body, see what it's telling you. Nice deep breath in. On your out breath, squeeze the ball with your calf and your hamstring out. And then to release. Okay, breathe in. And squeeze. Breathe in. Squeeze. Last one, breathe in. And squeeze. Holding it there for a couple more moments. And then breathing in, let's bring the weight back and release the ball as you come back onto ground. We're going to work into the lateral lower leg, which is the side. So it's not into the calf, it's not into the shin, it's this whole area over here. Coming down onto the side body. Putting your right leg behind you, extending your left leg in front, and then placing the ball in the center of that muscle. And we're going to do just 4 compressions again, like we did before, breathing in first. And then out, push down into that area. Breathing in to release. Out to push. In to release. Out. Pressure. One more time, in and out. Now we're going to be bringing the left knee towards the chest or towards the side. So we're going to be rolling that whole area. So you're keeping your hip on the ground and you're just rolling onto the ball. Full length. So till the knee and back. Forward. Back. One more time. Forward. Back. Coming back into neutral. And we're going to swap over sides now. Do the same thing. Excuse me. Okay, coming. Left foot behind, ball in the center, supporting yourself on your elbow. And let's breathe in and out to compress. Release on your in-breath. Out to compress. 2 more in. Compress in. Last one in. And compress. We need to release that. Now we start to move and roll. So just by bending the knee, allowing the ball to roll under the full length of that area, all the way up to the base of the knee, the outside, and breathe in, drawing it forward. And out, all the way. Nice deep breath in as you draw it forward. And this pushing down as you push the foot forward. And one more in. And all the way out. And bringing your leg to the ball. Going to sit facing forward. We're going to continue working into this area. So we're going to sit with our left leg across the top of the mat and our right leg to the back. And we're going to place the ball exactly where we did in the first one. And I want you to have another ball handy. Okay, so once you've found, you'll always find that spot. You need to kind of move the ball around, and then when you hit that spot, you go, ah, okay, this is where I need it to be. And then we're going to lean forward, placing a slight bit of pressure. So not all your body weight, but a slight bit of pressure into that area. And we're going to do 4 nice deep breaths in and out, breathing in, breathing out. Fully focused on that area, breathing in and out. Relaxing in. Letting tension go in the out breath. Last one, deep in. And all the way out. Your in-breath, just release that pressure that you've been holding on that leg. Taking another ball, whichever it is. And we're going to be doing pinning and spinning. So we're doing a stacking now. We're using 2 techniques at once. So pushing in and pin and spin that entire length all the way down. You can get into the calf a little bit here as well. Once you reach the bottom, work your way back up. And then you can pin and spin the other way on the way down. And back. And just give a little bit of a roll. That whole area. All right, so now we're going to swap over and do the same on the other side. So right leg in front, left leg behind. Taking your ball, placing it in the center of the outer leg. And again, find that spot that feels nice. Once you've found that, sitting up nice and straight, taking a nice deep breath in. And on your out breath, begin to bring a little bit more pressure for 4 breaths in your own time. Last breath, deep in. Really relaxing into that exhale. Finally, your next breath in, coming back up. And grabbing your pin and spin ball, placing it on the inside and spin and spin. As many times as you want, going down the leg. Remember, there's no rush. These are mindful movements. And then working your way back up towards the knee. And then working the other way. And then spinning the opposite way. Include a little bit of the calf. That feels good to you. And then spin. And then spin. And then back up. And then let's give a nice little rev all along that area. Okay, now we are going to be moving on to the hamstrings. Onto the adductors. So the adductors are these muscles that are running down the inside of the leg. So for this, we're going to need a block and a ball. So coming onto the side body, we're going to be placing the block at the very top of the inner thigh, or the adductor. Then we place the ball in the center of the block. Now you're going to need to hold onto the ball until you've placed the inner leg and you've compressed into the ball. And for this one, you might even need to keep hold of the block just for some stability. And we're going to just squeeze in, down on the ball, breathing in, and then squeeze down on the ball. 2, compress, breathing in to release, and compress. Last one, breathing in to release, and compress. Now, keeping your compression in, I want you to extend the top leg, flexing that foot, and then allowing that foot to come down to the ground as far as it will go. Then lift, all the while keeping compression in on the ball, so lifting up to hip height, and then slowly start to draw and bend the knee all the way to the back. And again, moving the knee, allowing the foot to come all the way forward. The flexed foot, once you're all the way forward, allow that foot to just be heavy, to come towards the ground. Breathing in, lifting the foot, and out to bend the knee. Breathe in, bringing the foot forward all the way, and out to let the foot drop. Up, breathing out. One more time, all the way forward, and drop. And up. Now, bend your knee once more. And now I want you to extend your leg, just making sure that everything's still in place. We are going to be rotating in the hip. So we rotate outwards while we're keeping compression on the ball. And then just not turning your whole body. It's literally just your the hip turning in the socket. You want to hold onto the ball for more stability, because this one will move around a bit. So turning the foot in all the way, you can allow the foot to drop. And then turning all the other way. So we're kind of getting a cross fiber movement here. Shearing across the muscle as well. Remember your breath. Make it nice and slow. And last time. Breathing in to lift the leg up. And remove your props. And help yourself to come up as we go on to repeat on the left. Coming all the way down onto your elbow, placing the block on the inside of the leg, placing the ball. I need to lie down for that. And finding that adductor. And then just allow the weight or the gravity to push into the ball. Okay, breathing in. And out, we're going to squeeze into the ball. And again, in. And out, squeeze. Moving into release. And out, squeeze. Last one in. And squeeze out. The next breath, going to begin to extend the leg forward. Just making sure that you can do your adjustments that you need to get into the right position. And dropping the toes down to the ground. Breathing in to lift up. And out to draw the foot back all the way. Remembering to squeeze in all the time, squeeze into the ball. Breathing in, bringing the leg all the way forward. And drop down, breathing out. In, bend the leg. In, stretch the leg. And down. One more time, breathing in to lift. Out to the back. In. And down. Just take a breath or two here. Bending the left knee. And extending the leg straight out. And we are going to do those hip rotations now. So turning the hip, so the feet, the toes face the ground. And then squeeze to turn the foot open. So it's shearing across the muscle fibers. And just take your time. However slow you can go, the better. Remember, fascia needs time to release, needs time to move and change. Let's just do 2 more like that. Feeling that rotation in the hip. And last one. Breathing in to lift the leg up. And remove your props. And helping yourself up. You're going to work a little bit into the hamstrings now. So same that we did with the calf, we are now going to do with the hamstring. We're going to be working at 3 levels. So just above the knee. That's level 1. Level 2 is in the center of the hamstring. And level 3 is just slightly higher. So arrange your block as you need. So placing it and then balancing your leg on the ball and placing your hands behind you, breathing in and out to compress. And again, breathe in, out to compress. 2 more in and out. And in and out. Breathing in to release that compression. Moving slightly up to the center of the hamstring. And leaning back. You're going to feel it become quite intense here. This is a very big pressure point here. So you're going to be breathing in and out to release. So you can release your heel to the floor, and then on your in-breath, bring the heel up, stretch the leg. And out. 2 more, in. And out. Just pulling and stretching in and out. Slightly higher, not all the way to the base, but slightly higher. Same thing, bringing the heel down to the ground to begin. Breathe in to lift. Notice the intensity and out. In and out. Slowly pull in and out. Last one in and out. And now we're going to move into basically just below where your sit bones are. It's where the hamstring kind of connects to the pelvis. So sitting straight up, you're going to place it right in that. That's the ischial tuberosity. Anybody who knows where that is. So you're going to place it in there. Extend your leg, keeping your left leg straight. And you're going to feel the spot. So now, oh, this is where you're going to find that pull spot. And we're going to just cross fiber across that. You will feel it kind of almost clicking over the ball. So really get in there and feel free to move forwards and backwards until you find that sweet spot that feels really, really good. Moving the hips from side to side. And then finally just coming back to rest on that same spot that you found. Breathing in. Letting that whole leg be soft and relaxed and allow gravity just to push into and then we swap over to the other side. Same story. Placing your block just above the knee. Leg on the ball. Heel on the ground and breathing in to raise and out. And as you raise, compress into the ball. So in and out. 2 more. And out. Adjusting to center of the hamstring, right in the middle. Letting the heel be flat on the ground to begin. Breathe in, compress. And out to release. In, compress. Out to release. And see how it feels. Perhaps it feels a little bit better if you flex the foot when you do this. So in, a little bit more intense. And out to release. In. And out. Bringing it up slightly more. Placing the heel on the ground to begin. And bring all the way up, flexing the back. And out. Remember, it's whatever feels good for your body in the moment. So if flexing is too much, just allow the foot to be soft. Pushing in to come up. And relaxing to come down. And last one in. And out. Moving the block now, bringing the ball back into that area. Just below the sit bone. Very, very top of the hamstring. And let's just find that spot to begin. So just move around. Notice if the side feels different to the other side. Perhaps it's a little bit more intense, less. Just find where it is as we take 2 nice deep breaths in and out. Letting it sink into the ball. Next breath in, You're just going to lift the hips slightly. And this is not a big movement all the way across. It's literally just cross fibering or crossing over that little bump that you feel as you go. And then maybe moving it down slightly. If you need to get a little bit more into the hamstring, just do what feels nice here for you. And allow the weight to help you ground into the ball. And then finally coming back to just find that spot, sit into it, breathe through it. And give your body permission to surrender, let go, open. Breathing in, coming off with pressure, bringing that leg. We're going to be turning into now with the front side. So the ischial tuberosity, which is this little part here, just underneath the hip bone that protrudes, just that space there. So please don't go into the actual area where all the lymphatic glands are. We want to stay away from there. So be very certain. It's like a little tight band. If you rub across, you'll feel that. We can use either ball. I'm going to use this ball for this. And lifting up onto the side and finding that little spot. I'm going to lean into the ball and come up onto your elbow. You can bend your left or the underside leg. And we're just going to lean into this for a couple of breaths. Breathing in and out slowly. Notice where you're holding on to tension. Anywhere else, you let that soften. So you're really sinking into the ball. And again, this is all very, very much it's your own body. It's your own feeling. So you need to perhaps just adjust a little bit until you find that spot. And you'll know when you hit that spot. And then that's where you rest. You might even feel this into the sacroiliac a little bit, down into the knee possibly. And that's all good because that means those lines are being hydrated. Two more breaths here. And breathe out to finish off. Coming off of the ball, coming onto the other side. So bending the underleg, creating a stable base with your elbow, lifting up, finding that spot as we just melt into this. You can either stretch your top leg or bend for stability. And remember to tune into the breath. I'm going to do 4 slow, deep breaths in and out here. Notice what your body is saying. Is it holding on? Is it fighting? Is it resisting? It is just surrender a little bit. Just trust in the process. Breathe in, lifting yourself up and off. I'm going to go a little bit into the quads. So coming face down now. I'm going to come into a Sphinx position. And you're going to take your ball and place it in the center of your quad. So find that spot. Just 2 deep breaths in and out here, breathing in and all the way out. Softening through that quad muscle. In. Relax the glutes. And out. Bringing your elbows out to the side, coming down onto your hands. We are going to do a little bit of pelvic stretch. And that means just bending the knee, bringing the foot up to the ceiling on your in-breath. And then all the way out, down. I'm going to do 4 of these. So in. And out. In. And out. Be very mindful as you move. Last one, deep breath in. And out. And we're going to put back down to the ground. Now, this one can be quite intense, so just be mindful. I want you to just stretch your knee. So straighten your leg as much as you can. Breathing in and then release. And again, stretch the knee. And out. 2 more. In. And out. And last one. In. And out. Taking the ball away. Just lie flat for a moment. And just rock the hips. Get ready for the other side. So once again, placing in the center of the quad. And you just breathe in and out here. And notice how the knee wants to just straight away pull up. See if you can relax that. Okay, as you breathe in, bring the heel up towards the ceiling. And breathe out, stretching leg. Breathing in. And roll up. And in. Out. Last one. In. And out. Allowing the toes to come back down to the ground. Once they're there, breathing in. Pull the knee up. And release. In. Pull the knee up. Release. 2 more. In. And out. Last one. In. And out. Just relax for 1 or 2 breaths. And removing the ball. Bringing your feet up towards the ceiling and it's just rock from side to side. And then for our final one, we're going to go into the piriformis again. So it's this little tendony spot here. We're going to be lying flat, face forward with 2 balls. So finding the spot on the one side first, and then on the other side. It's a bit of a balancing act to start off with. And once you've found those areas, remember to stay away from the groin area, the soft area. And then once you found that, you're just going to lie here for a moment. Couple of nice deep breaths in and out. You may need to adjust when you're lying forward, making sure that it's in the right spot. Just feeling gravity, allowing the gravity to do the work. Now breathing in, I want you to tilt your pelvis forward. Not a big movement. And on your way back out, tilt your pelvis forward. And tilt it back on the way out. You're getting small micro rolling movements. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one in. And out. Nice careful. 1 or 2 breaths. And then lifting the pelvis up to remove the balls and lie flat. Just notice if you feel a little bit closer to the ground, your hips feel a little bit more in alignment, and you feel a little bit more balanced through the hips. Let's just take a couple of moments. You can either stay lying on front or roll over just to lie in a bit of a relaxation, just to end off for a couple of minutes. So allowing everything to integrate. Make sure that you're nice and comfortable. I'm just going to be a 3-minute rest. Stay connected to your breath. And really feel into your body and notice any subtle changes, any lengthening that may have happened. So you feel a little bit looser in the legs. And remember, like I said earlier, with the chains, with the fascia, we are, even if we're working in the feet, we're working in other parts of the body. So even though we only did up to the hips today, we've still done the work into the rest of the body. Relax through the face. Relax your jaw. Soften the ears. And the throat. Allow the collarbones to fall towards the mat. Your air moving into the chest, through the chest down into the belly. Allow yourself to be heavy. Listen through the abdomen. In your hips, your pelvis and sacrum connected to the ground. Soften through the thighs and the knees, calves, ankles, the heels. Feel the softness in the soles of your feet. Feel the spaces between your toes. Feeling really relaxed and heavy, a warm, comfortable heaviness. Just know that you've done profound work today. And you will feel it in the days to come. Take a nice deep breath in together. All the way out. Give yourself a big stretch all the way from the toes to your fingers. And when you're ready, you can come back up.